Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to today's rehabilitative strengthening and endurance classes, exercises. In addition, we're going to do some vision. We are going to exercise your brains. So for the second part of today, I have just a scratch piece of paper. You don't have to, but it would be helpful for some of those activities. And again, if not, that's fine. You can still participate and do some of these activities as we talk about some of the visual perceptual activities that we'll do with our brain. All right. I guess that's it. I guess we'll go ahead and get started with a quote. So my quote for today is, if you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. All right, let me say that again. Sorry, I got a little loud in here. Consistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. Right. So there's two factors of trying to get to our goal. Right. One of those factors is just keeping at it. Right. That perseverance and that determination and grit. And another piece of it is being consistent. So putting in the same effort, right? Putting in the same amount every day and every time, and just doing it the same way, especially as we do those exercises. And you know that we do them all the same, pretty much every day, right? So, so just keeping at it and also doing it as much as we can in the same way. Just because that repetition is going to help our brains, and keeping that in mind when we're doing these exercises, whether or not they're physical or whether or not they are mental, they're for our brains. So let's go ahead and get us started with our exercises. Remember we have foundations and options. You can always adapt and modify the exercises as you need to fit what your body is feeling for the day. And let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I sit forward on my chair a little bit. Sorry, I realize you probably can't see as well. Okay. So my feet are flat on the floor. I apologize. Get that adjusted well. Right, I guess it will forward. Let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths to start. Breathe in, and out, and in, and out, and one more. In, and out. All right. First one is our neck. So up to the ceiling, and then down to the floor. Alright, so whatever speed you choose to move at, just try to keep it the same speed for the entire motion. Side to side, so right ear to right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. always do one at a time. Right? And if you want to rephrase, sorry. If you want to support the affected side, right, you can get your hand underneath that elbow, right, and you can just give it a little push to get a little more movement from your affected side. Now we need to get your blood moving, Kevin. Are you out of here? All right. We'll see ya.
See you, Josh.
Okay. As you can, roll your shoulders in the other direction. Crashing my video here. Making all that noise. You want to be here, don't you? You want to be the Facebook star, right? Okay, go ahead and let those relax. Alright, it felt good. That's why I did the little one. Next, right, our shoulder flexion. And so, just as high as you can. And make sure that it is smooth. And slow is going to help build up your muscles. But if you're going faster, that's fine, but use the same speed. Use the same speed in both directions as you do the movement. You can also push against yourself, right? And imagine pushing something down to the ground or pushing something up into the ceiling, right? You just want to have your muscles work a little bit harder. You can just pretend that you're making that push. Yeah. See you next week. Okay, next we have our biceps. The biceps and our triceps. Press together if you need to. Lots of different ways you can. Next we have our wrist. And let's go ahead. Last time I did that position, so we'll do fists and then open up your hands. Okay, fists, and then open them up. leg circle. So I'm going to hold in my right leg, and I'm going to make a circle with my leg. And if you can, you also want to move your ankle in a circle as well, in the same direction. To do leg circles with the same leg, but in the other direction. Right? Go ahead and bring your right leg and make those circles in the other. Right, so try to pay attention to your speed, right, and try to make sure it's the same. Right? So, extra challenge would be going slower, making. Yeah, slowed it down. Now I really feel it. Okay. I realize that I have to pay attention to my posture, right? So pull in your back is straight, your abdomen. Now we do our left leg. So go ahead and start your circle with your left leg. Right. Also do that ankle circle. Together. Circle first, and then your whole leg, and then just your ankle, and then your whole leg. I know you could also bend your knee to do the circle. Okay, go ahead and leave that to rest. And we have to do our circle, same leg, other direction. I know, Carol. Okay, go ahead and let it relax. All right, next we're going to go do our heel raises. So make sure your feet are flat on the floor. You're going to push up on your toes and make your on the floor. Basically, you're just going up on your tippy toes. We're still seated in our chair, but you're just pushing up on your toes so that your heels come off the floor. Now we'll go ahead and do marches. So we're just going to lift our knees. So try to keep your back straight. Yeah, good job, Carol. I think you're doing better than I am. If it helps, you can kind of put your hands behind you. Maybe that's cheating a little bit. Okay. just a couple more. Okay, go ahead and let that relax. All right, let's take a couple deep breaths before we do our core holds. So just a couple deep breaths. Breathe in and out. In and out. Okay, maybe one more. In and out. All right. It's our favorite, Carol. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna lift up our legs. You're gonna hold our back straight, pull on your core, hold up your arms, keep your back as straight as you can, and hold that position. If you want a little extra challenge, you can start swinging your side to side, basically doing a twist. Okay, and that's gonna work our abdomen muscles. If you want a little more push there. We're probably going to do more of these next week. So maybe, hopefully you like them. Okay, you curl your legs. Go ahead, put your legs in. We're going to do one more. We'll see you next week. Oh no, I want you for a whole week, huh? Next Thursday, a whole week. All right. Have a good week and a good weekend then, Kevin. Okay, we have to do one more. All right. All right, get our legs up. Hold out your arms. And we're going to hold that. Don't forget to breathe. Would you rather do the circles or the side-to-side one? What do you feel like today, Carol? Steve? Doesn't matter? Hold it still? Or did you say circles, Carol? Side to side. All right. Carol has spoken. All right, we're going to fold out our thumb, keep our eyes on our thumb, and move our head side to side, but keep our eyes on our phone. Give your eyes a break if you want. We have to do the counterpart of that. So it's holding our thumb still, but moving our head up and down. Okay, so when you're ready, go ahead and put in your thumb, open your eyes. Keep your eyes on your thumb as you move your head up and down. Go ahead and give your eyes a break. Close your eyes. We'll do our new eye exercise next. Actually, it's exercises. All right, so you can either use both of your fingers, right? If you aren't able to hold both fingers up, you can use an object. So I can use the top of my water bottle and my other finger. I am going to shift my focus from the top of my water bottle to my fingertip, and I'm going to look back and forth between those two targets, and I'm going to do that at a pace that is comfortable and as fast as I can, but it's not necessarily a race. And I want to make sure that it is in focus before I move my eyes back to the previous target. Okay, so I want to make sure that it is not blurry before I move my eyes back to the other one. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last time. I don't know if Alex has been mentioning it as well, but this is the movement that our eyes use when we're reading. So you can almost picture like this is going word to word. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes, give them a break. We did a horizontal line, and now we're going to make a vertical line. Okay, so when you're ready, you can either use two fingers, right, in a vertical line with each other, or you can use, in this case, I'll use the top of my water bottle, right, and my finger. So I'm looking at the tip of my finger and the top of my water bottle, and I am just shifting my focus back and forth between those two targets, making sure that each one is in focus before I move my eyes back to the other one. Okay. I move my eyes at a comfortable pace, and as fast as I can handle, and still keep it in focus. Go ahead and give your eyes a break. You can either close your eyes or you can just blink a lot. Depends on what makes your eyes feel comfortable. All right, now we have to make a diagonal with our vision. Okay, so I'm going to use the top of my water bottle. And again, if you're using two fingers, you just want to hold them in a diagonal like the points of an X. Okay. All right, right? Does that make sense, Carol? So you're gonna like you're making a diagonal. Yeah. Right, and just hold them at a comfortable distance, right? If that's too hard, then you can put them a little closer. Yep, as long as you're making a diagonal. Right, so again, same motion, back and forth between your two targets. Make sure that each of them is in focus before you move back to the other one. Let your eyes relax. Okay, again, either close your eyes or you can blink them. And now we have to make the diagonal in the other direction. Right, so if your left was higher this time, now your left is lower. Yeah, you got it, Carol. Good job. Okay, right, in this case here, right, with my water bottle, I'm just going to put my finger here. So I'm looking between the top of my water bottle here, and then my fingertip down below. Right. Go ahead and let your eyes relax. All right, we still have our mouth exercises, and then we'll move into our vision activities. All right, mouth exercises. Go ahead and massage your cheeks and your jaw. right, so our first mouth exercise is open your mouth as wide as you can. All right, so either slow down the motion through the whole thing and do it in almost like you're yawning in slow motion, halfway on the way to an open mouth, and then again halfway as you're closing your mouth. Okay. All right, the next one is to smile really big. So same thing, pause it halfway through making your big smile, and then pause again halfway. Hold it as you return to a neutral mouth. Next, we're going to go ahead and do our tongue exercises. So corner of mouth to corner of the mouth. All right, if you can, you want to make it a small, not small, you want to make it a slow motion. Or you could do it like our other mouth exercises, and you can just hold it in the middle. Now we need to do our tongue up to our nose and then down to our chin. Okay, so try to make it slow. Same speed going up and down. Okay, and our last mouth exercise is to frown and then swallow. And then swallow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right, Stacy. All right, one more. let's go and get started on your brain exercises. All right, so today we still have some vision activities. Last time I was on, I did not get to our cards, so I'm going to start with those ones today. So those of you who are here with me, right, you have a couple sets of these cards at your table. So I'm just going to give you a minute or so. Right, you're going to look at your cards, and each set has 3 things that have changed. All right, so I'll hold it. Oh, it's so tricky to hold it for the camera. All right. Nope. All right. Nope, almost. All right. Yeah, so the visual skill you're using now, right, our eyes see color and shapes and lines, right, but eyes that see a tomato, right? It's not our eyes that see an elephant. It's our brain that puts all those shapes and colors and lines together and decides what it may be. All right? So that's what's happening now as you're looking at these pictures. Okay. You are using visual discrimination, right? Oh, sorry, covering up the picture. Okay. You are just using that visual discrimination to figure out and see the differences, right? But it isn't your eyes doing that work, it's your brain doing that work. Because really all our brains are doing is just determining, right, color, shapes, and lines. It's our brain that does the rest of the work. So, oh, your shield. His shield. Thank you, Bill. Sorry. I told Bill. Okay. All right. I'm going to go over this one before I forget. So in this one, the one I'm holding up here, one is the hat, right? Has a hat in one of them, but not the other one. The other part is the bowl. Mirror image is really hard to do. All right. So the bowl has something in it versus not. And the other difference in this one is the knife. Yes, it's a small knife, and this one it's a big knife. All right. So did you find your differences, Steve? Okay. Do you want me to go over them?
The phone's went on the left. The glass missing out of the cabinet, the bookshelf behind her, and the desk organizer went from blue to yellow.
Okay.
From yellow to blue. Yeah, it went from red to yellow.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And sometimes our brains are impacted in funny ways, right? Where maybe I shouldn't say funny, but in different ways where, right, we're not able to see the difference in color, or sometimes it's a different in shapes, right? We're not able to tell the difference between like a circle versus a square. Like sometimes that's what our brain has a hard time interpreting. It just depends, right? It depends what can happen in our brains to make some of those skills difficult. Right? Did you want to go over yours, Carol? Okay. All right. Do you want to go over your other one too?
Sure.
Okay.
In one she's blowing the saxophone, the other she's not. And the music stand is lower in one than the other, and she's not wearing her vest as one.
Okay. All right. What about your other one, Carol?
have tackle box broken, and it's late.
Okay? Yeah. So right, that as also some of our brain's perceptual work for our vision is, right, that relationships, right? Relationships between what's in a picture. So above and below, behind, or next to, right? I feel like, I feel like we never really get to this one. So I'm going to start with this one next. It might be, I don't remember if it's on the back or if it's the single. Oh, it looks like it's the single page. All right. Okay, so I will hold it up to the camera here. Okay. These are a visual sequence where you are noticing a difference of the patterns. So you're really looking at from the first to the second to the third, and really looking at what is the pattern, right? How is that pattern changing, and what is happening with those lines and those shapes, and then to figuring out what the next one would be that would keep the pattern going. Right? Do you want me to do the first one with you, Carol? Okay, I'll do that and you guys will be able to see too. That's why I left some room on my board. So the first one we have is that diamond, and it basically has 3 lines, right? And then that is what's shaded in. And then our next diamond is smaller, right? So a smaller diamond. And then it has how many lines? Yep, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now instead of that top section, the second section is colored in. Alright, so the third one. So how has the diamond changed? Yep, it's the big one again. Sorry, those are really bad diamonds. The third one is shaded in, colored in, right? And how many lines are in it? Got 5 lines. 4, 5. Yeah, and you told me that third one is colored. Okay. So what would be, if I look at the diamonds, what would be the next one in order, Carol? So we went big diamond, small diamond, big diamond. Okay, we're going back to that small diamond. Alright, and then how many lines would be in it? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, and then which line should be colored in? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let you finish the rest of it. Steve, I think you're already ahead of us, so we'll hold this up for everybody at home. Sorry, I wish I could figure out how to make this possible for you guys at home without just holding it here in my really crooked, shaky hands. Sorry. I think I do better when I'm not watching the camera. To hold it straight, I was like, I should just hold it straight. But then I watch myself and then I'm like, no, more, no, more. So I should just stop watching the camera and just hold it the way I think would be straight, and it gets good enough. Yeah, see? It's good enough. Ah. Carol, maybe just one more minute? So patterns are interesting, right? So this is right, our brain's ability to look, right? To be able to look at something and understand the pattern. We use this skill, you'd use the skill when you're trying to find a house, right? You know that numbers, right, up in a certain order. It's not like there's going to be a random house number thrown in there, right? We use these kind of patterns on a pretty regular basis, which is we don't always aware that we're using those patterns. And patterns are usually very calming, and it's something that is, I guess, kind of calming and reassuring for our brains. It's comfortable, and it's kind of a go-to for our brains. It likes to find patterns, and our brain likes to put things into categories. So, all right. Okay, which ones did you get done, Carol? And I'll go over those.
I got the first one.
Okay, the one with the rectangle?
Yeah.
Yep. So the one with the rectangle here, you should have a bigger rectangle, right? Because the rectangles are getting bigger.
Yeah.
So the next bigger size, it should have a plus and an X through it, right? So it should have 6 lines through it, and it should have a dot on the top. Yes, because the dot is going, first it was on the left, then it was on the bottom, then it was on the right. So if it keeps going in...
On the right, bottom, left.
Well, no, because yeah, it starts on the left, then the dot's on the bottom, then the dot's on the right. So then, yeah, it should be on the top. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, maybe I said it wrong. Okay. All right.
You want to add something to the pattern here, though? I was thinking maybe a line up and down.
Right. Right. I said it too quickly. Yeah. So it should have a plus, right? It should have a vertical
Right, it
line.
should have a line up and down from this dot down.
Yes. So the shape that is going to go here, right, will be a bigger rectangle. It'll have a vertical line, a horizontal line, and then that dot above the top. Would be that one. Okay. Right. Yep. I say otherwise you got everything else. Right. That circle one would have 2 rings, and then the arrow facing up. Yep. And then I'll just go over yours real quick, right? So I would say this one is going to be D.
Yeah.
It's going to be D, that one there.
Yeah, got it.
And then here is going to be A.
Yeah, got it.
Okay? All right. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you guys out there. Go over those answers because you guys might be done too. This one here, it's going to be a smaller circle than this one. All right? So just slightly smaller. The arrow is going to be pointing up, and it will have 2 circles, right? Or I guess the first circle plus 1 more ring around it, and that arrow will be pointing up. Okay. The answer for this row is going to be D, and then the answer for this row is going to be A. Okay. I just have to remember to try and go over everything for all of you guys out there watching. So, sorry. I don't mean to be leaving you guys out. It's easy to forget that I have you guys watching me too. Let's do these. The block is what? The last one is A. You got it, Carol. And then the one before that? I think so. I'm going to have to come see it after, though. Or if you leave before time, I'll come see it before you go. Okay. All right. Do you guys have a strong preference? Let's do closure. I like closure. Actually, so before closure, I'm going to give you a memory. Let's see. All right. Try to remember that symbol. And maybe this is not as challenging. All right, I'm going to give you 10 more seconds to look at it. All right, try to remember it. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. Let's go ahead and do the one at the bottom. All right, so again, this is the skill of closure, where our brains can fill in the missing parts and be able to see the whole thing. Yeah. Do you see it, Carol? Go. It's a dolphin. Yep. All right, so I'll just kind of outline here. Oh, for those of you people at home, right? Backwards. Okay, here's the back, the dorsal fin. And then up here, that's the top of the head. There's the, is it a snout on a dolphin? It's not a muzzle. It's a snout, okay. There's snout, then here is its belly, and then down here would be its tail. Backwards is really hard. All right. I don't want to go too long. Go ahead and draw the shape I showed you on the board. Carol, go ahead and draw that shape I showed you on the board. Do you need some help? Alright, and for those of you at home, I want you guys to be drawing that shape that I showed just a couple minutes ago on the board. And right, that skill is visual memory. That is when we it could be like when we're grocery shopping, we're trying to remember what's on, right? It could be like we're imagining, like seeing, the mustard or lettuce, seeing those things on our grocery list. It could be a phone number. It could be an address, right? There's a lot of things that we're using our visual memory for. It could be looking at a map, trying to find something on a map, right? It could also be maybe looking for an office in a building. Right. Could be remembering where you parked your car. All of those things use visual memory. All right. So there it is. You can compare your drawing. So pretty much it's a square, right? But there's a triangle down at the top. There are 3 dots on the left side, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 lines through the bottom of the square, just under the tip of the triangle. All right. Since I'm here, let's go ahead and do these. Since we already did the dolphin for closure. So there's 4 words here. So they're a little bit squished at the bottom, right? But there's 1 word here, another one more word, and then the last word. Okay. All right, so Carol, I already see you writing the words down on your board. Yeah, do you see the 4 words? Yeah. Okay. I promise they're real words. I didn't make any words up. And again, it's just more practice, right? More practice and some brain work, right? To work on that visual skill. only see the top of it. You know if it has a brown lid, that goes to the mustard, right? Or you know that if you can just see, the bottom corner of it, you know that's the salad dressing. Okay, so that is when you would use. That's when your brain is using the skill. Okay, you know, just to give an example of when you're really using it, not just as practice during this class. All right. What are the first two words, Steve?
Peace and lion.
Yep, peace and lion. And then Carol, what are those last two?
War.
War
Duck.
and duck. Yep, war and duck. Yep. I heard that Alex said that I made him erase too much of the words yesterday, and it made it hard. So I tried to erase less of the words today. I guess I got excited at making it a challenge, but I tried to make it less of a challenge today, but I did make the visual memory a little bit harder. Okay, which I already drew them up there, so we might as well do those too. All right, this time, okay. All right, challenging this time, Steve. I'll give you a little longer to look at them, since there's three, and I'll stop talking so you can concentrate. And 10 more seconds. Let's go ahead and finish this one. I think you already finished it, Steve. You got one more. Okay. So above the dolphin, right? So this is just more closure. Again, if you were using this just in your everyday, this would be finding something in the fridge when you can only see part of it, right? Or something in your cabinet when you can only see just a little corner of it. Your brain knows what's there without seeing the rest of it. I say, Carol, you got saved from the memory task. You're like, darn it. I was so excited to do that. That's all right. I'll ask you tomorrow. I'll ask you tomorrow what those shapes were. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, Carol. Okay. All right, you want to go over them, Steve? All right, so the first one is A. All right, the second one is B.
Happy birthday, Stacy. Very good. Very good.
And the third one is D, as in dog. All right. All right.
How's that gonna fit in there? It's not gonna fit in there. D's not gonna fit in there.
It does fit in there. What did you think?
A, it's gonna go across the top.
So, yeah, so if we look at it, right, it's got,
Okay, it's gonna be even across, I see it now, okay.
yeah, no, but I see why you wanted to say, A.
That's gonna put it across the very top, make the square bigger.
Plus, this one is extra long, right? This is pretty much the whole top of the square.
Yeah, it's gonna put it across the top. It's gonna put it up here.
I see. So that it would still fit in there. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, and in this case, right, we're pretty much just, if we draw a straight line straight to the corner, right? We just come straight to the corner and then down. We just want to know what that piece is. So I see what you're thinking, Steve. Yeah. So, all right. The last one we have is figure ground. And I don't know if it got explained what figure ground is. Sorry, stop trying to watch the camera and just hold it. Okay. So in this one, you're trying to find how many 2s are in the first box, and in the bottom box, you're trying to find how many circles are in that bottom box. Okay. All right, so figure ground, that's when you're looking in your kitchen junk drawer and you're trying to find a rubber band. Okay. Or if you happen to have all of your utensils, so all your forks and knives and spoons, and you just have them all mixed up in a drawer without an organizer, that would be like trying to find, the potato peeler. Or trying to find a spoon when you've got all of them mixed up together. Okay. That's really the best example of using figure ground. It is commonly featured in books like Where's Waldo? Or Can You See What I See? Those are some common books that use this idea. There's also a little bit of form constancy in this. So form constancy is our ability of our brain to know that, a circle is still a circle even if it's small, or even if it's shaded in, or even if it's behind something, that it's still a circle. Right. Or the number 2, right, as in that top box, that doesn't matter what size it is, if it's in a different font, that it's still the number 2. And that's form constancy. But this one in particular is using the skill of figure ground. So I'll just give us maybe another half a minute. Again, that top box, you're trying to figure out how many 2s you see, and in that bottom box, how many circles do you see? Oh yeah, it helps if you can color them in. I have to admit, the first time I did this, to make sure I knew the answer, the circle went through me. I went through it a couple times. Even though I knew what the right answer was, I couldn't find all of them. So, all right. So that top one has 17 2s. I should have had one that's just all filled out. You're just going to have to trust me. It's 17. And that bottom one has 13 circles. Yeah. And really what threw me was the biggest circle right there. For some reason, I didn't want to count it. And I did that more than once when I was going through and doing the exercise myself. So, all right. Those are our vision activities for today. We have one more day of this combination of our strength and as well as our vision activities. That will be tomorrow. And next week we'll have a new topic in combination with our normal rehabilitative strengthening and endurance exercises. So thank you so much for joining me and participating and being a part of this class today. Have a great day. And maybe we'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock for stretching and mindfulness, or again at tomorrow at 1 for rehabilitative strengthening in terms of our exercises. And actually, Steve is reminding me to ask you to write down. I forgot to have you write down those shapes I showed you, so I'll just show them again real quick. Thanks for reminding me in your ways, please. I figured this one might be a little tricky.
Most of it.
Yeah, because it was not necessarily a regular pattern.
Right.
And I started drawing it as a regular pattern, but I'm like, no, because then it won't be as challenging. All right. Okay, this time I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So thank you guys for joining me. We'll see you next time.